How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be talking about this cool little gadget here from RainPoint. This is their one-zone Wi-Fi water timer with hub. The cool thing about this one is you can attach it to your faucet outside, and it'll also allow you to have wireless control over that. So let's say you've got plants in your backyard or a garden, or let's say you're out of town for a few days, you need to make sure those things stay watered. You can actually be away from home, and through their application on your smartphone, you can actually control this device. So I think that is pretty cool. So let me show you guys what all comes in the box real quick, and then I'll have it set up outside, and I'll give you guys a quick look at what it looks like. Okay, so in addition to the main unit here, we have our Wi-Fi hub. So this is going to help get a signal from your home's internet router to the actual device here. And you get your power brick and then a USB cable here. So this has a USB on one end and then a USB Type-C on that end. So pretty standard connection there. They also give you a couple things here in the baggie. You get some Teflon tape, so in case you need to make a good seal when you tighten this onto the hose, you've got that. You got an extra O-ring and then an extra filter that goes in the top like that. So pretty neat. Then they give you a nice user guide, and they also give you instructions on how to get the application downloaded to your phone and set up the gateway. So pretty neat there. Okay, so we'll take a quick look at some of the information that's provided here in the user manual. So I think that would be really good for you to know. So they give you an overview of what was in the box, overview of the product here as well. Then on the next page, they give you an overview of the features here. Basically give you a little diagram here of what your system's going to look like when it's all connected. So you'll have your phone connected to the internet, and then in your house you'll have the gateway connected to your home's internet, and outside you'll have the RainPoint device. And that'll be connected to a hose or whatever you're using for irrigation. And then it tells you like what are some of the features here. So you've got a scheduled watering feature, you've got a manual watering mode, automatic watering mode. There's also a rain delay. You've got a water flow meter. So pretty neat functions there. And let me show you one other important feature of this system. So the requirements that it needs to operate, let's say you have an Android or iOS Apple device, so you need iOS 11.0 or later. And if you have an Android device, you need a OS 6.0 or later, and that can run this. And as far as your home network, you need a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. Okay, and another important piece of information is how far apart these devices can be. So you've got your RainPoint device connected to your faucet, and they want that to be 820 feet or less from the distance to the actual antenna here. So if your house has really thick walls or things like that, you may have to have these two parts closer together. So you might have to just test that out depending on your situation, but that's pretty important info as well. Hey, real quick, I'll show you guys one more thing. So I've got my batteries here. I'll go ahead and plug that in. And then to do a little manual test, I can just press the power button. And you hear little clicks, that's the valve opening. You press it again, and the valve is closing. So that's about as simple as it gets. Pretty cool, right? All right, so I have the RainPoint app downloaded to my iPhone here. I'll show you guys a couple of the features here. So here it has the Wi-Fi hub is connected, and then the water timer outside is connected and shows online as well. So pretty cool. So if you wanted to add another device to your hub, you can do that as well. Just hit that add device button. And these are all your different options. Depending on which of these things you have, you can connect it to that Wi-Fi hub as well. So you get different controllers, different kinds of sensors. So pretty cool. We can look at info here. So this will connect to the internet and it'll pull up the local weather in your area. So go ahead and click on that. So currently 71 degrees out. It's saying that it may rain a little bit today. Also, there's rain in the forecast for tomorrow. You got your highs and lows, percents of chances of rain. So pretty neat info there. So let's say you have a plan here. You can put a rain delay feature on it to where it'll skip watering the days that it could rain. Also helps track water usage as well. So there's a smart scene function, so different options you can plan in here. So you can get device notifications, time notifications, weather notifications, things like that. You got your different plans here. So this just kind of summarizes what plans I have programmed to that particular water timer outside. So I just went ahead and tested two of them. I got my plan number one, which is just a normal irrigation plan. So starting at 6:30 in the morning, I can set different times of how long I want it to run. So I can go by minutes, run by hours, things like that. So pretty cool. Plan number two is an interval irrigation mode. So I can have a run time selected, an interval time selected, when to start, duration, you know how often to repeat. So you can have every day, odd days, even days, custom intervals, and things like that. So lots of ways to set up your watering plans. Pretty neat. And let's say we want to go into this device here and get a little more info. So it has your water usage here. You got your plans that are loaded to it. You can review those and make changes as needed. And if you hit the manual mode here, let's say you want to do a spot watering, we'll test it out here. We'll just hit normal irrigation mode. Let's say we want to spot water something for about 5 minutes. We'll just hit that and hit confirm. And then I went ahead and I heard something click outside, so I heard my water go. So as you can see, it turns the water on super fast. So as soon as you hit confirm on here, sends the signal to that water timer out there and turns on your water. Let's say you change your mind and you want to turn it off. We'll hit that button again, hit confirm, and I hear a click and water is turned off. And we used about 0.7 gallons in that little test, so pretty neat. There's a chart function here. So I've been testing this out as well. So it'll record your water usage by days. You can also do a 12-month summary as well, so kind of track water usage that way as well. So pretty neat stuff. So overall, the application is pretty user-friendly. Lots of good stuff there. Okay, so I got the RainPoint Wi-Fi hub plugged in and powered up, and it's wirelessly connected to my router here. And so this is kind of in the middle of my house as far as my floor plan goes. So if we look over this way, outside the window here is my front yard, and towards the corner of the room here on the outside of the wall is where the actual faucet is. So that kind of gives you an idea about how far away I am from the router to the water timer outside. Okay, so I've got the RainPoint connected here to the outside faucet, and at the other end I've got a small sprinkler attached to it, so we'll go ahead and test it out here. We got a small click, valve opens, water is going. Super easy, and then we can turn it off just as easy. And I hear another click and the water is off. So how cool is that? So if you're looking for a wireless controller for your watering needs, check out the RainPoint.